It is Saturday, June 14th here at the West End Gun Club. It's past 6:30. It's already busy on the range. There's lots of people driving around trying to get to pistol base. It's a pretty active morning. But in any case, I came out here today to play around with this thing. This is the Athlon Rangecraft Velocity Pro Radar Chronograph. This is the new chronograph that was announced at SHOT Show this year, and everyone's raving about it because of the price point. It's been out for about a month and a half or so now. I did not get it until this past week. I had it on pre-order since February, but the place I ordered from got a small shipment initially and I was low on the list. So that's why I didn't get one earlier. So I just got it this past week. Already been reviews out there, published on YouTube. Lots of people got it, earlier. So, I mean, my review or whatever I have on this is going to be late to the party, but, whatever. I wanted to get one just to try it out. Considering the price point, we'll compare it against the Garmin, which I have in the vehicle. But we're on the Rimfire. We're here at the Rimfire range. We're going to test it out here. But when I was driving over here this morning, I realized I didn't charge the battery because I didn't even open up the box. So hopefully there's some charge in the battery already. If not, we're gonna have to wait a little bit, charge it on my my USB portable battery that I have in the vehicle that I use to power up my satellite, my Starlink. Lost my words, but Starlink. I do have a way to charge it if I need to, but we'll go ahead and we'll break it open and then see where we stand on that. But let's go ahead and get set up. I'm not gonna do much shooting today. I'll probably set up a paper target and then maybe some steel just to practice on for a little bit. But that's kind of it for today, is mainly to test this out. I opened the box, took some photos, and fortunately, we are fully charged on the Athlon Rangecraft, so don't have to spend time charging up the battery before we start. So I'm gonna go ahead and just set up some targets and we'll be ready to go. All right, we're about to get set up here. The sun is starting to come out though, so it's gonna get pretty bright. Probably need to grab my sunglasses. So let's figure this all out. We have side buttons. We have 3 buttons up top: power, options, okay. Then side buttons up and down on the right side. So it's a little bit different than the Garmin. Hit okay for new session. We're gonna do rifle. We're gonna do 600, 1800 FPS, and then we do the weight here. So I think it's a similar, oh, how do we go back? Return? Oh, that's weird. Okay, interesting. New session, rifle, 600. How do you do weights? Okay, I don't wanna go there. I need to go option. Okay, so step through is that one, 40 grain. Okay. All right, so we are set up to go here, I guess, and then we're just gonna point it down range. Got a mag loaded up here of Midas Plus. I don't know, given current conditions in recent weeks, this is gonna probably push 1060, 1065, but I know a lot of people are gonna complain because everyone nitpicks when they see a video. Oh, you had the chronograph set too far to the right, to the left, wasn't in line, all this crap. So let's go ahead and just set them up kind of side by side on either side of the barrel within reason. And I mean, they're relatively the same distance away from the bore, pointed at the same target. But let's go ahead and shoot a few rounds. The sun's in my eye. So 1072 on the Athlon, 1067 on the Garmin. $1077 versus $1071. $1075 versus $1072. 1070 versus 1068. $10.70 versus $10.62. Did that even read? Yeah, that read both of them. Okay. $10.80 versus $10.74. So the Athlon is reading faster. $10.77 versus $10.74. $10.73 versus $10.68.8. I am leaving out the last decimal sometimes, but we'll have a. I'll put the results on screen hopefully with the offsets or the differences for comparison from shot to shot. 1074 versus 1071. $10.81 versus $10.77. So roughly anywhere from like 3 to 5 feet per second difference. But our average is 1075 on the Athlon, and the average is 1070 on the Garmin. So 5 foot per second difference. Interesting. Let's go and load another mag. I went ahead and angled the camera down because of the sun flare. Sun is coming up right behind the firing line. Let's go ahead and shoot 10 more rounds. $10.76 versus $10.72. $10.72 versus $10.67. $10.83 versus $10.78. $10.63 versus $10.61. $10.80 versus $10.75. $10.67 versus $10.62. $10.77 versus $10.74. $10.71 versus $10.66. And I think I'm empty chamber now. Oh, never mind. $10.84 versus $10.79. $10.67 versus $10.61. So with 20 shots, we now have an average of 1075 still versus average of 1070. Standard deviation on the Athlon is not on screen for some reason, so I don't know how you pull that up. I have to read the instructions. Standard deviation on my Garmin is 5.4, but I don't know what it is on the Athlon. Is there a way to pull that up easily? Option. No? Oh, can we do summary? No. Oh, there it is. So, okay, SD is 5.4, so the readings are about the same as far as the standard deviations. But the velocity readings are definitely about 5 feet per second slower on the Garmin. Or rather, it's faster on the Athlon versus the Garmin, if we say it that way. Cool. Let's go ahead and bring out a different gun, just for fun. Busted out the 1020 do, and I figure I'll bring it to the range just to shoot it a little bit. But I am in the process of rebuilding this thing. So if you follow my Instagram at all, you probably saw an Instagram story where I am in the process of drossing a kid receiver. So I have a kid receiver being like I have to wait, California 10-day waiting period on a gun, but I did order a kid receiver. With that being said, I'm basically going to rebuild this gun with a kid receiver. And the reason being is because of the inherent problem with the factory 1022, and that is a single action screw. You have one action screw that holds the action to the stock or the chassis, and that's it. So what does a single fastening point mean? You have this rotation. So this gun literally moves side to side in this chassis, and it's that pivot point. You can try to bed it, which I didn't try to do. You can try to bed it across the action and probably like a little bit, like an inch forward of the receiver to like the barrel so that it doesn't move, but it's kind of not the way to go. So the kid receivers have a rear tang option where you can set that with a second screw. So you have two action screws, and that will prevent this sort of pivoting action here, which I want to eliminate because I think that is the biggest problem. When you move this gun around, you're in a barricade or something, or it decides to sit left or right, and it could touch the stock or the fore end, depending on how it's sitting or how you laid down the gun when you got into position. So just want to eliminate that. So we're going with a kid receiver. But more on that in the very near future because I will be picking that up next week. But let's go ahead and get these chronographs set up. Now I'm using the Bushnell Match Pro ED on this 1022. And I will have to remark that I didn't do a review on this. I just kind of lagged on it. I never did a review on this optic, but I do have lots of complaints about it. And first off, I mean, its clarity is not all that great, at least short range. But I'll tell you right now, there's some insane chromatic aberration. I have a white target. It's just standard printer paper with black lines printed on it. And the fringing on this white paper is insane on those black lines right now. Sun's behind around 2 o'clock coming over the ridge, so it's in my face. And so it creates this lighting condition where there's just insane chromatic aberration. I'm not a fan of the Match Pro ED. I know a lot of people think it's a great optic for the price, but I think it's pretty underwhelming. (1111) to 1106. So I'm going to read the Rangecraft and then the Garmin. And we are, for some reason, way off to the right. (1102) 1100. (1113) 1109. (1104) 1100. (1098 to 1093. (1109) 1104. (1106) 1103. 1099 1094. 1099 1094 again. 1102 1106. And we're out. So 10 shots, both sides. So our averages are 1090. So that's minimum. What's my average here? Oh man, the display changed again on this thing. So how do I? Oh, okay. I see what's happening here. That's power factor average. Okay. You can cycle through average, SDES, and DFA, and kinetic energy and power factor. Okay, so average is 1105. 1101. SD on that is 5.5 versus 5.4. So it seems that they read consistently within their own system because the SDs are about the same, but the Athlon is reading about 4 feet per second faster right now on this specific run. Let me load up 10 more rounds. We'll get more rounds for sampling. Same string. Continuing the string that we previously shot, I'll have the camera here behind the Rangecraft. Had to adjust the windage on this scope. For some reason, we were hitting way right. Adjust my parallax here a little bit to fine tune this, but yeah, that chromatic aberration on this target's pretty bad. That black is like looking purple grayish. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and shoot some more here. 1009, 1109, 1106. 1114, 1109. 1105, 1100. 1106, 1102. 1112, 1108. 1107, 1103. 1107, 1104. 1111, 1109. 1111, 1106. 1113, 1110. I will say that the Rangecraft seems to return the value a little bit faster on screen than the Garmin. So right now, after 20 shots, just confirming 20 shots on both sides. Yep, average 1107.9 versus average of 1103.8. So again, 4 foot per second roughly difference between the two. SD is going to be 4.9 on the Athlon, 5.1 on the Garmin. So one thing I need to do with the chronograph, since I just opened it up this morning, is to get the app for the Athlon. And actually I need to configure it because I just noticed that the time, I didn't look at the date, but I know the time for effect is off. So I need to figure out what the app is because I did not even bother to read anything. So I'm going to guess it's Athlon Ballistics. Hopefully this is not some malware, but I'm assuming it's Athlon Ballistics, which is rated 2 stars, apparently. So really bad there. Let's pull this down. I have my Starlink here, so I do have internet connectivity at the range. I did buy a Starlink a few months ago. If you haven't been following my range vlogs. Oh, great. I need to sign up for an account. I don't know. Let me see. Give me a second here. I don't know if I have an account. Do I have an account with them? I don't know. So I use 1Password just for my cancel Athlon. Do I have an Athlon account? Nope, I don't. So give me a minute. I'm going to create an account. Got the app installed. We're going to go ahead and try to connect the device here. I think that's me because we have a radar. I'm guessing. Hit enter. Done? Oh, great. Done. Oh, pair, maybe. Pair? Yeah, sure, allow. Okay, tap to pair, so I guess that's mine. And then you got to put this code in there. Confirm that the code is shown, then you pair it. Yeah. I don't have to put the code in, you just got to confirm it. And then, do I have to do it? Yeah. Manage, or we're done. Do I have to manage it? No idea. We're done. So done. Is there anything else to do here? Done. Do I have to get out of this? Okay. So what can we do? We have device connected, I think. So we can do some, can we set settings here? So there's no way to set the date time. Maybe? Maybe it's already done? Sync data. Let's sync the data. We just synced it. Okay. I don't know. Is there even a way to check to see what timestamp is on here? Yeah, I'm not a fan of this app already. So, okay, what can we do here? We can do... I didn't even bother to look at this. This is all Imperial, so we're good here. Display color white. How do we select the options here? Okay, we can do dark, gray. Okay, I have no idea. We can do dark mode. Okay, I have no idea which things I want. Let's just mess around with this real quick. Brightness, it's fine. So we can't really do anything with time here. If we get daytime, I prefer. Yeah, so apparently you can't, unless I'm missing something, you can't manage these settings. Yeah, there's no way to manage settings here. Okay, so the app needs some improvements here. And for some reason, you can't do year, month, day, which is my preferred method. You can only do day, month, year, or month, day, year. I don't like the concept of day, month, year. That's no offense to all the international people, but day, month, year for like this notation is dumb. I understand when you're spelling it out in text, like you say 14th of June, 2025 or 2025. I don't understand why you would put 13/6/2025. It doesn't make sense. So month, day, year is correct for me. I always want 24-hour. I don't understand why people don't use 24-hour time. The whole concept of AM PM was stupid. Okay, so it did seem to adjust the date time though, because now it's reads 7:45, which is local time. So we're good there. So I guess when I synced my device to the app, it was fine. You just can't really do much in terms of other management of in the app of the Rangecraft, which they need to fix, because I think that's dumb that you can't adjust these settings from the phone. Okay, so I think that's it. That's all I really cared about adjusting here, so we're good. One modification I made to my main Voodoo that I use for rimfire matches is adding the turret tape. This is, I believe it's IDTS. IDTS is the acronym for the name of the company, but they make these tapes that go around the turrets that you can basically use dry erase markers, which I have yet to write on this. But for example, if I wanted to, I know I'm going to go to like 0.6 or whatever, I can just draw a line right there. And then if I know I'm going to go to 1.2 sorry, let's make 1.6, I can do that. And basically it's just a faster way for me to turn my turrets to those spots. You know, this has been around for several years now, but I'm just late to the party because I just realized that, hey, with these 15 mil turrets, it's harder for me to see these lines, and I figure nice to have the tape anyway, just give that contrast. And when I'm dialing, which I don't really dial much in NRL 22, but for the PRS style matches where we're doing a little bit more longer distance stuff, and you do kind of have to dial when there's, you know, greater variances between target distances, that this makes more sense to have this. So easy to wipe off with dry erase. One thing I did notice when I tried to install this on my other Voodoo, my other Zico rather, is I was wondering why it wasn't lining up, because I was adjusting it and I was just making sure that the lines lined up. But then when I was putting it on, for some reason, like it was coming too far over, and I was like, why is this way off? Like it's off by 1/10 of a mil or 2/10 of a mil. Come to find out, if you when you're putting it around your turret, you got to make sure you don't stretch it too much, because I was trying to keep it tight or taut so that it doesn't, you know, it goes on cleanly. But when I was doing that and pulling on it, I was actually stretching it so just enough on the end that it was 1/10 of a mil difference. So it stretched it out 1/10 of a mil, like on the latter portion of it. So it was ruining the turret tape. So kind of have to be aware of that and make sure you don't stretch it. You kind of just put it on, just lay it on there, and just make sure you just go slow and then lay it on there. But if you're looking for these tapes, IDTS makes these things. I think they're in Canada, so it does take a little bit of time to get to the United States. It takes a little bit over a week, but gonna run these. I know this is nothing new, but I just put this on for my own use, because I'm gonna figure I'll start using it. But I do appreciate this white turret. I mean, with 15 mil again, 15 mil turret or 15 mils per rev it is very thin line here, and I wish Zico had the 10 mil turrets when I first bought these. So I do have a 10 mil turret on my 420, but both my 527s are 15 mil turrets. And I don't know, should I sell this and get a 10 mil turret, a 10 mil 527, or should I just buy another 10 mil? Or sorry, should I buy another 527, just keep the 10 mil and have 4 Zicos? But $4,000 a pop now, and the prices went up on Zicos. That's hard. That's a hard decision to make right now. Anyway, just wanted to show that off. I'm packing up, but I want to go ahead and just show the target I was shooting at this morning. I found this board in the Connex container. I don't even remember what I was doing with this target. This was just on this board. I think I was doing some initial tuner tests with this target board, but that was like a year or 2 years ago. Anyway, this is just the Voodoo. Pretty simple with Midas Plus. I was doing a dial the wrong way to adjust the windage, but some 5-shot groups, I think 5, and that might have been 10-shot group. In any case, 1022, I was just trying to get the windage all dialed in here. And then this is the last group I shot with the 1022. It was pretty good. This is about 8 or 9 rounds here. Not bad. Could be better. But again, if you see here, this was just windage adjustment, and this is all elevation here. This variance here, most likely due to just the inherent inaccuracy of the gun because of that single action screw, which I want to resolve. I'm going to resolve. It will get resolved. I think that's the most inherent problem with the 1022, at least my setup in that KRG Bravo chassis, is the fact that you have that play in the gun, so it resets in the chassis differently, every shot. It's not going to be ideal. So, but this is the potential here. That's pretty good. I like this for a 1022. That's pretty good. Not bad. So let's go and put away the targets, and we'll roll out of here. It is 8:30. I want to roll out of here. The sun's coming out. It's getting warm out here. I want to run some errands before I get home, and it is getting busy, so I do want to leave. That being said, we came out here to test this. What's my opinion? Small sampling, only fired 40 shots Rimfire to test it out. Right now, we are seeing it trend faster than my Garmin unit. 5 feet per second faster than the Garmin, but it is consistent as far as like the SDs are consistent for like the Garmin's SD, and this SD matches up. So that means like the variances should be kind of in line, right? I'm not seeing it deviate like where this is slower than the Garmin or this is faster than the Garmin. Like it's always going to be consistently faster. But the amount that it's faster, it fluctuates. At least with the Rimfire, I'm seeing that as little as high as 5 feet per second or 6 feet per second. So we'll see. I will chart that information over time. Going to retain that information as far as just for a future review. That being said, what else am I thinking about this? Out of the box is pretty cool because they give you this cool little case. That case that was in there, it was inside this case. So that's cool they give you this case. The tripod that they give you, the tabletop tripod or the ground tripod, it's aluminum, I think. I don't know if it's aluminum. No, I don't know. It is some harder plastic, so it does feel a little bit more stout. I'm not entirely sure if this is aluminum or not. I'll have to look up the information here, but it feels a little bit more stout than the plastic polymer one that you get with the Garmin, so it's a plus here. Although one of the legs is looser than the other, and I don't think you can tension that up, but what are you going to do with some Chinese-made products? That being said, this is made in China. Garmin's made in Taiwan, if that really matters to you. I know some people does, and yet they don't care when it comes to a cheaper price. The menu system can take some getting used to because you have 5 controls instead of 3 on the Garmin. You have the up-down on the right side of the unit facing downrange, 3 buttons on the top. Came fully charged, so I didn't have to charge it, but there is USB-C on the side. I think the footprint is a little bit different than the Garmin, so my accessories to mount the Garmin to my rifle will not match with this. So I did mock up something, my own DIY Arca mount for my Garmin that I may try to adapt for this. So I will have a way to mount this to my rifle, maybe. Right now, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, it's going to be $150 to $200 cheaper than the Garmin. Maybe the prices have gone up because of tariffs. I think it's $350, but I think I've seen prices as high as $400 now for this thing, depending on who you buy it from. My pre-order was locked in at around $315 US, so not bad. That's out the door. Can't complain about that. So kind of cool to have this. We'll try this out with centerfire rifle maybe this week. I might get out to the range again with centerfire rifle to test this out because we do need to test with centerfire rifle. Run it with pistol, and then we'll have some more sampling of data for me to write some sort of review on this. But there's priority reviews out there. Again, it's been out for over a month now. I was late to the party because I got this on the second shipment for the retailers. I think if you want to get one now, you're going to be at around $350, if not more. So if you want to get one, snap one up because the price may continue to go up as they have to adjust based on supply chain and tariffs for the US. I think most retailers are probably sold out for their second shipment. I know Bruno's, as of yesterday, Bruno's in Arizona still has them in stock because they sent out an email, so they got some of the chronographs in stock. And when I went to the website just to see, they were in stock, available for order. So if you do want one, they appear to be available. You just got to go grab one fast. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and roll out here. It's getting warm. If you want to come out to our NRL 22 match, that is the next weekend. So this is the 14th, so the 22nd of June. That's Sunday, our NRL 22 match. That's the June Course of Fire. Definitely come on out. Anyway, that's it for today, Saturday, June 14th here at the West End Gun Club. Thanks for watching. See you in the next vlog.